Welcome back to What Arty Noobs for General Disturbance. This is the M10 RBFM. It's a Tier 5 French premium tank destroyer. It's located on the south spawn of Halluf and it's under the command of ProvoBob. Now, this is a particularly good tank destroyer because it does have a fast fire rate, and of course it's up against opponents who probably won't want to be on the receiving end of that 3-inch main gun. Now, Bob's trying to work out where he's going to go. It's down in the book as a 76mm, but it's capable of doing 115 alpha, 130mm of penetration with standard rounds, and with the APCR goes up to 170. Now, this particular tank destroyer is not very fast, only 48 kilometers an hour forward speed, 12 in reverse, and Bob's decided to aim across the valley, even though he's got his rear end sticking out a little bit. Oh, he's much better off around this corner. Okay, so no shot on the enemy Wolverine at the moment. Basically, the Wolverine is another M10. Now, that was a bit of a wasted shot, but at least he's only firing standard AP at the moment, and that's benefit. Now, that actually went straight towards the target, but it didn't get a direct hit, but that did. 101, which of course is a low roll. Now, there are bots in this game. You probably saw already that there's colons before and after some of the names of the enemy tanks. That's a bot, but he got a nice hit there for 121, a high roll. Now, what you may not know about the M10 RBFM, because many other people haven't really mentioned it, these were naval artillery, not French army artillery, naval artillery players or crew members. And in actual fact, the regiment that actually had it was the Régiment Blind de Fusiliers Marines. So it's basically a tank regiment of Marine Fusiliers, or Marines basically, French Marines. Yep, every nation has a group of Marines or sea soldiers, and the French had their own. In fact, the unit was first started by Sylvain Surrat, I think was the name of the guy. And of course, you may know that a famous French actor actually, I think he hit something there. A famous French actor was in command, I think, of one of these vehicles. In fact, if I remember correctly, that was Jean Gabin. And of course, this little beast is actually mainly well known for the fact that it actually took place in an action on the Champs-Élysées. And of course, because they were French, they knew the exact range of the Champs-Élysées, so they were able to get the dial in the range absolutely accurately and got a first strike on an enemy tank. I believe it was actually a Panther as well, and they took him out. There was only 36 vehicles given to the French in this particular unit, but you think about it, 36 M10s, that's quite a large force. And all of these vehicles had naval gun sights fitted onto them, so they could actually not only fire further, but also so they could take part in indirect fire as well. Now, one of the great things about this tank destroyer is the reload speed. Standard reload 2.97 seconds, and you can see that ProvoBob's got it down to 2.62, and he's got his first kill. In fact, he took out a Kehoe on the enemy team. He's still watching that corner. He expects the enemy to be over there. I did think that he actually hit some enemy tank that was hiding next to the rock. Not that one. Just to the right. You notice he's using standard ammo at last. Now, that didn't hit something, but he got the other one seemed to actually hit something. So maybe there was an enemy tank behind it. If it was, it might have been one of those M8A1s that was seen there earlier. I think he's wasting ammo at the moment, though. He ought to be keeping hold of it. Yeah, he's in a tier 5 game with tier 4 tanks in it, so some of the enemies he's going to be up against are going to be particularly weak. And he is carrying HE as well as the APCR, and those HE rounds are capable of 185 hit points and also penetrating through 38mm of armour. And they've got a 1.09 meter burst radius as well. So even if you get a near hit with the HE round, it'll actually do quite some damage. Now he's repositioning himself so he can get shots on the enemy if they break through the northwest corner. And it does look as if they are pushing that corner. There's a BT7's gone down into the valley, and I think he's going around our P2640, and you can see some shells are actually landing nearby. Now the M10 was actually a favourite for American troops. They actually didn't like the M18 Hellcat. They preferred the M10, which is kind of strange really, because the M10 didn't have much in the way of armour, and the Hellcat didn't either for that matter, but it did have the speed to get away from the enemy if it needed to. Now he's trying to position himself in such a way that he can get shots on the enemy as they come around that corner, and one of them's about to do so, so he needs to back off and get this bush in front of him so he can use the bush mechanic. In fact, there's a few enemy about to come up through the gaps a little further on. Here we see them coming out to view. Oh, Su-85 thin armor on that thing, so he will pen it, and he gets a second kill. Keep it going. Nothing but enemy tanks ahead, apart from Matilda slightly to our right, so he's blocking them to go around the other corner. Oh, another kill, the chappie this time, but he does take a hit, and he needs to back off because those guys know where he is now. Oh, he's blocking shots from the Largo. That's amazing. The armour on the front of this vehicle is not very strong. The hull has only got 38.1mm at the front, and the front of the turret is only 57.2. So he's not really going to stop a shot from the Largo. So he's very, very lucky that one of those shells bounced off. Yeah, the Panzervier Ausführung H is staying down for the moment because I think he saw that chappie blow up and thought, no, I don't want any of that. It looks like our guys have got him spotted because we've got guys over the other side of the valley at the moment. All that ProvoBob's trying to do is stop the enemy from getting closer to our cap. He has got the help of that T67 with him though, and that's useful because that guy's got a fast firing 76mm as well. It looks like the enemy has actually retreated back to their own cap. So yes, maybe they're headed back or headed across the valley. The Panzervierers and their BT7's gone across the valley, and that may be because our Type T34 and our Kehoe managed to do so much damage over the other side. Of course, the Kehoe is a bot, so I would expect him to be less than competent. In fact, actually, oh no, it's the Type T34 that's taking the damage. And in fact, now they've got a KB1 bearing down on them, and he's near full health. So this is where we need Bob to help out. It's going for the KB1. Gets us hit with his first one. High roll. Second shell bounces off the turret. Third shell bounces off the turret. Trying to go for the Panzer III. Doesn't get him. Leave him now. Go for the KB1. Loses sight of the KB1. Got him back. And that one tracked him. And it went through the side of the vehicle. Oh, and he's got his next kill. 4 kills now. Oh, BT7 trying to make a fast escape. He hits the... Looks like he hit the tracks. And he gets him with the next one. So that's his 5th kill. One short of getting a top gun now. And there's only 2 enemy tanks left. The Largo and the VK. And they're both on this side of the battlefield. The VK just went down to our T67. And that just leaves the Largo, the same tank that actually hit ProvoBob earlier in the game. Now, it's not a particularly fast, as I said, only 48 kilometers an hour, so he's not going to break any speed limits to get there. But we did just lose the T67, the Largo got him. So now we need ProvoBob. Oh, now I just saw the Largo was headed to the right, and he did appear briefly on that rise, so maybe he's headed back towards his own cap to try and get the reset, because our Type T-34 is sitting in cap right now. It might actually help Bob if he was cut across the valley and try and catch that Largo, because he's not going to be around this corner. He's actually going to be well on the way back to his own cap. I'm sure the Type T-34 is ready and waiting. He's sitting on the near side of that cap next to the village, using the buildings for cover. If we see a reset, then we know that the Largo's got back, although the Type T-34 will probably see him, and then we'll spot it on the minimap. It wasn't a particularly powerful engine. It was only 410 horsepower, but they had a mixture of engines that they used for the M10. They did use the Aero engine, but they also had a twin diesel. The Largo's been spotted, and the Type T-34 goes down. So it looks like that Largo's just got himself a Defender medal. Now, he's got him. He's on the right side, so he's going to get this Largo. Hello, Mr. Largo. That's a Top Gun, and that wins the game for ProvoBob. Here's the end of battle results, and that was the third-class tank for ProvoBob in the M10 RBFM. He got a fire for effect for doing more damage than the hit points of his own vehicle, a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. He got 6 in this one. And he also got a Top Gun because he killed 6 enemy tanks in the game. And his win rate was 3,166, which is Super Unicum standard. Let's have a look at team score. Well, he didn't get the highest damage in this game. No, unfortunately, that went to the T-67. He picked up a high caliber and a Confederate for 1,845 hit points of damage. Second highest damage was the VK3001H on the enemy team, 1,767. And the third highest damage went to ProvoBob with 1,222. When it came to kills, though, he definitely got the top spot with that one. 6 kills to him, 3 kills to the Largo, and 2 kills to the T-67, the Leopard, and the VK3001H on the enemy team. And when it came to base XP, that's ProvoBob. Yep, 876 went to him, 689 went to the T-67, and 632 went to the Leopard. He fired 40 rounds in that game, 16 direct hits, 13 penetrations, damage of 1,222 hit points, of which 837 were at more than 300 meters. He received 2 hits from the enemy. One was a penetration, one was a non-penetration. Yes, he did get penetrated once, but he blocked that shot from the Largo that was pumped in, and he blocked a damage of 75 hit points in total. 9 enemy vehicles were damaged, 6 were killed, 77 hit points of damage assistance. On a free player count, he earned 18,408 credits profit, and the reason he got profit this time round was because he was using standard ammunition, and it was effective at the level he was playing. He also got 1,109 XP as well at the end of the game, so particularly effective in terms of not only Unicum standard, but also picking up a Top Gun. And of course, he won the game for his team because he was so efficient with that 3-inch gun. I hope you enjoyed that replay. If you did, please give this video a like. Do subscribe to our channel. Leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm. And thank you for watching.